She was sick and refused to eat, and the man who loved her deeply lost control and slapped her across the face. Chris and Jesse had been married for 60 years, but strangely, they always claimed they never loved each other. Their 6 decades together were simple and quiet, so much so that Chris would often joke that there was nothing special about their relationship, and Jesse never argued with him, because deep down they both knew they couldn't bear to be apart. But the nightmare finally arrived. One day Jesse was completely unresponsive. Even when Chris shouted her name, she didn't move an inch. A chill crept into Chris's heart. He fought back his panic and gently wiped her face with a wet towel. So, no response. He knew the day he feared the most had come. He was about to take her to the hospital, but then the water from the faucet suddenly stopped, and saw Jesse standing there as if nothing had happened. Chris's face immediately darkened. He thought she was playing a cruel joke, but Jesse had no idea what had just happened. Chris told her everything. But she had no memory of it, though the water stains on her clothes told the truth. She realized he wasn't lying, and fear quickly overtook her. The test results came back. Thankfully, Chris had acted in time. Jesse just needed surgery, but she would never be the same again. From that day on, Chris suddenly became more mature. He began taking care of his now partially paralyzed wife. But this wasn't the version of Chris that Jesse wanted. In all their years together, she had never once asked him for help with even the smallest thing. It was her pride. Chris could sense her mood shifting. The next day, after attending a friend's funeral, he came home and felt a chilling stillness in the house. He ran to the bedroom and found Jesse collapsed on the cold floor. He quickly carried her back to her chair and shut the window. He pushed her into the living room in silence, trying to lighten the mood with a joke, but Jesse cut him off.
Ça pourrait m'arriver à moi aussi.
Si, bien sûr.
Hearing her words made his heart ache, so he brought over her favorite former student, hoping the youth's energy could lift her spirits. Jessie was the happiest she'd been in a long time. She loved the feeling of being needed again, but when the student asked about her condition, that joy quickly turned to sorrow. That night, Chris had a dream, and he was alone in a vast room. No matter how loudly he called, no one answered, until a pair of hands suddenly covered his mouth, and he woke up gasping. They learned their daughter was coming home. Jessie suddenly found the motivation to start rehab again. She wanted to look her best for her daughter, but after that, her condition worsened. She gave up the will to live. Seeing her mother like this, the daughter broke down and angrily questioned Chris's care. Chris didn't argue. Soon after, their daughter hired a caretaker, but that decision crushed Jessie. She was too proud to let a stranger bathe her. This wasn't the life she wanted. Chris knew exactly how she felt, so he quietly let the caregiver go and decided to care for her himself. But after everything they'd been through, Jessie had lost all will to survive. She started starving herself. To send Chris a message, it broke him. He slapped her in a moment of despair. The next morning, he dressed her up beautifully and